Hello, Goddess. Welcome back. It is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And in this space, I guide goddesses to bridge the mind, body, and soul through psychosomatic education, consciousness reconditioning, as well as alchemy and energetics. It feels so good to be back with you. Tomorrow is the first day of spring. It's about to be the spring equinox, y'all. I love when the seasons change. I love celebrating the seasons and the holidays of the earth. So we are finally about to be in this divine masculine season, which means that it is a season for gold diggers. This video is going to be all about how to be a gold digger and how to create some elevated self-care techniques and rituals. I'm kind of going to be freestyling a little bit on this as I don't have a terrible amount of notes. And I'm also about to go out, and I'm really excited about that. It's going to be such a fun night. I got my nails done today, and I got some fresh makeup, new lips. So things are just feeling really good, and it's just amazing. They say that the spring is coming early, and I feel like March has just flown by. It's kind of wild. But before I go ahead and get too deep into the topic, I want to remind you to please like this video so that the algorithm can do its magical, mysterious thing. Please share this video so that other goddesses, such as yourself, can receive this information. And please remember to subscribe if you are new to the channel. Hi. And apparently you have to hit that notification bell if you want YouTube to remind you when I post these dope videos every Monday to elevate your feminine consciousness. So hopefully you have a glass of water or something to hydrate yourself with. I've got water. Let's get into it. All right. So, being a gold digger and being a high performance woman, this idea was inspired by some of my recent clients, women who are power figures. They are, the bosses in their lives and the leaders of what it is they do. However, some of them I have just found are struggling with other aspects of their life, such as just relaxing and finding balance in the midst of everything that is going on. And one of the ways to know whether or not you are in balance with your goals and your pursuits, balancing them with your personal health and well being, is looking at your immune system and looking at your stress levels, which is why last week we talked about adrenal fatigue and why feminine energy based women live longer. In the world that we live in now, women are making leaps and strides, and they are accomplishing the same goals that men are accomplishing. This is something that is normalized now, and I think that it is so beautiful to see the power and the potency that having masculine and feminine energy activation can really bring into life. I mean, a lot of the women that I work with have powerful husbands that are successful as well. And so they are like neck and neck. But what they did not learn, and what I'm working on with a lot of my clients, is how to live through your feminine energy, especially after you have accomplished a certain level of success. It's important as women that we come back to that home and that resident vibration of femininity and really learn how to leave the masculine based goal driven energy at work. So, along the lines of being a gold digger, however, maintaining elevated forms of self care, I would definitely have to say it's important to start by leaving your work outside of home or creating some serious boundaries between your work schedule and your home life schedule. So, making clear, distinct boundaries. What does that look like? If you're a boss and you work for yourself, you run a business like I do, you are going to be working. Sometimes it feels like around the clock. But what I want you to start practicing from today is taking a look internally, an internal look at your stress levels, and ask yourself, am I super stressed about what it is I am asking myself to do right now? And what I'm talking about is like after hours, when you come home from work or it's outside of your normal scheduled work day. And what I'm asking of myself to put my time into when I should or could be relaxing, is this stress and anxiety provoking? And the reason that I'm asking you to do this is because there is a great passion that comes along with being a boss, with meeting that deadline. Let's say you're in school and you're about to get your next degree about something you're really passionate about. There's a fine line between passionate invigoration and being stressed out and maxed out because you are forcing yourself to. And then I want you to ask yourself, if I put my energy into this right now, in this moment, on the spot, am I going to be able to put forth quality work? And if the answer is your output is going to be anything less than 60%, I want you to challenge yourself to save that thing for when you feel back to 90 or 100%. One of the things that I learned from research recently is that the average person can have a fairly decent, strong attention span for about 2 hours before their attention really starts to wander off. So, one of the ways that you can be a goal digger and a high performance woman is to separate your work schedule into distinct time periods. So, for example, for me, when I know that I have to get a number of things checked off of my to-do list, I like to go in 2 hour spurts. So I will either like film for 2 hours, or I will do computer work where I have to stare at a screen for 2 hours, and then I'll take a break. And I will either prioritize like a moving task, like run an errand or something like that, or I will just sit down and take a breath and to be still. Or, yeah, exactly. So, even if that's like doing a savasana. So, a savasana is a yogic practice where you actually just lay down. You're not necessarily taking a nap, you are just allowing your body to rest for a moment, to ground into whatever space you are, whether it be sitting up on a couch or lying down on the couch or just sitting in your chair and putting your feet on the floor, and maybe putting on a blanket or covering yourself with a jacket, just so that you can ground your nervous system. Because when we are in pursuits in these masculine paradigms and of accomplishment, or these fiery passionate pursuits that come with deadlines, our energy can become chaotic or scattered, or it can go into that autopilot mode that we were talking about last week. So it's important to recognize when you are getting tired. And I'm not talking about like a 9 to 5 job, because in those instances, you usually don't have a choice. I'm talking about when you are working on a goal that you have determined for yourself. Okay. So I want you to just practice taking a pause, taking a breath, like we talked about last week, assessing the situation and then responding. Can you get this? Can you get this task accomplished efficiently? Or do you need to step away from it, recover your energy in your nervous system, and then come back to it when you can actually efficiently get it done? And I have found that this has been something that has been helpful for me in being more productive. I don't ask for myself to overproduce on days in which I am dragging. I find that if I really just allow myself to rest or to take a beat, take a pause, and I come back with extra energy. So be mindful of that. And the reason that it's important to start to develop these healthier techniques, a self care technique, that's a simple on the spot self care technique in the midst of a busy day, is because I'm finding that, successful women oftentimes have lacks in other aspects of their life. So I use the health and the immune system and the stress levels, but oftentimes these successful women that have these foundations often lack love. So you have all of the money, you have the career, you have the lifestyle, but you're lonely. And I find that we as women tend to distract ourselves with work. I know that I have been guilty of distracting myself with work and avoiding having to put the time and energy into the consciousness development around being prepared to date and putting myself out there and everything that comes along with that skill of dating and making yourself emotionally available. Emotional availability starts with how available you are being with yourself. And so the next self care technique for my performance driven goal diggers is going to be having intimate time of vulnerability and self examination with yourself through inner work and self discovery. So, getting a self care book, take a look at exploring your divine feminine potential, grab a workbook and sit with that and just make that a part of your self-care time. So while we are in the process of striving for these masculine goals in life and being fixated on that external energy, what's going on the world screen, what's going on in our lives, who do I need to take care of over here, did I meet that deadline? There is this story that is developing that your body is experiencing. Okay, there is a development that is happening, a growth that is happening with you as a woman as you age and as you flow through life. And so we want to give ourselves the honor of taking the time to process our experiences, which means that we have to slow down. And sometimes it means that you need to take a hard stop, especially if you are on autopilot. Sometimes you just need to take a hard stop in life, whether that looks like taking a full day. If taking a full day for you is something that is unusual, like a full day to just flow and allow things to happen, it means that it's something that you need to be doing more often because your adrenal system is probably worn out. And you can look at my previous video to confirm that. Let me take a look at my notes. Okay. So, another way to self care is by limiting your distractions and limiting your intake. So, use that do not disturb. So, my favorite mode this year, honestly, it's been since I got my new phone. Remember, I got that new phone in January, that blessing. I have been using the hell out of some do not disturb in some sleep mode. Let me tell you, it is a blessing to have that mode on my phone, especially because, I have not been on media. I'm waiting until the springtime to get back on media. I've been using that do not disturb at multiple different instances, and the wonders that it does for my nervous system and my stress levels, it just brings it all the way down. And it allows me to be more present with the people that I am interacting with and the moments of creation that I am pouring into my pursuits outside of just work. And so I just love that setting and that little self care technique. And the sleep mode is just wonderful because what it does is it puts your screen in a readable color, a readable form of light, so that as you're unwinding for the night, you don't have to deal with that intense light that's coming from the phone screen that can be very challenging for your pineal gland, which is going to affect your sleep wake cycle. So if you're using the sleep mode on your phone, it's a simple life hack. A few hours even before you go to sleep, number one, your nervous system will be less distracted. And number two, you're also going to be supporting your third eye, your pineal gland, to better produce melatonin so that you can have more deep rest at night. Okay. So another self-care tip, and this is something that I cannot live without. I have my sacred day is Monday or Moon Day. I don't care if I had to work a million jobs, if I was a mogul and I had several corporations that I had to run, I would not work on a Monday. The answer would be no, I'm not showing up for anything on Monday unless it feels divinely aligned. So Monday is like my Sunday, is my religious day, and I don't do anything on Monday. I sometimes, if I'm really really tired from the week and I was really on 10 with my masculine energy and getting things done and accomplished, I might not even get dressed on a Monday. I might walk around in a robe. I definitely am not putting on a bra on a Monday. Unless like I feel energized and I feel well and I feel balanced, I might go to the park and take a walk on a Monday, or I might go to the bookstore and read a casual book, or I might just organize the house. But I have that one day that is available to me for that free flow. And what happens is when you allow yourself to have a half day or a full day of free flow where you are not obligated to do anything or go anywhere, it puts your consciousness in a better state of receptivity to be inspired with new ideas, and it really allows all of the systems of your body to recharge. You must recharge your battery and refill up your cup consistently. Obviously, this should be an everyday act, an everyday experience, end of the day ritual where you are unwinding, grounding from your day and allowing the chaotic energy to either be dissipated or to be grounded. Run a relaxing bath, do an Epsom salt foot soak. My grounding mat is my way of telling my body that, okay, my day is over now and I'm going to ground you. And we are going to start to make the separation from the day that we had earlier into now it's time for the dream aspect of my life. Because I think that we sleep something like 2/3 of our life. It's either 2/3 or 1/3. So I have found in the recent months, especially working with my astral practices and my spiritual practices, that there is this whole other world in our dream time that is occurring. And so, because this takes up such a great amount of our life and of our time, we need to be getting quality sleep and quality rest. We are so focused on that 1/3 of the time, what is happening on the external reality, where there is an internal reality that is happening in your physical, emotional body. And then there is also your dream time reality. And this has value. It is important to be connected with all aspects of yourself. We're looking for that full integration so that we can have that full, rich, delicious, fully absorbed, fully processed experience of life. And so I like to couple my free flowing days sometimes with grooming day. So I like to do my own lashes. I'll take the time to do that. I'll take the time and lotion myself up. I just all kind of things. I'll get my nails done. I find that for me, cleaning my house when I have the energy after I've rested for a half day, I'll take the second half of the day to do some house cleaning. And what that does is it clears my psychic energy. So cleaning out the physical clutter in your house is going to help you to cleanse out the mental clutter that you are experiencing, which will then take you out of the masculine mental realm and bring you more in attunement with your physical and energetic emotional bodies. So it's very important that we prioritize taking the time on our schedules to do that. I remember when I had to work like 7 days a week. I was pretty much working 7 days a week in some chapters of my life. And this was before I started to experience cyclical burnout. And I put a hard stop on that. And I said, no more. That was 2023 for me, where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm not doing it. Cut it out. Um, 2022 I quit my corporate job. I had a corporate job that I was working. I quit that job, and then in 2023 I stopped stretching myself out so thin in other ways. And when that happened, I really just started to realize that burnout is real, and it's not okay for me to be consistently going through these cycles. And but when I was working 7 days a week, I would have like a half day off from work. Like, my days off look like half days off. I cannot believe that, like, that was just like 2 years ago. It's kind of crazy. But I was still wise enough and developed enough in my inner work to know that if I have a half day off, one on one of my half days off, I think it was like I had like a Friday, half day Friday off, and like a half day Monday off or something crazy like that. On my first half day, I would make sure that I rested. And then on my second half day, I would make sure that all my food was prepped up. So like my life was like this well-oiled machine, because I had to stay organized, and I also had to feed myself well in order for me to perform in the capacity in which I was moving about through life. So I would say that food prep is a form of self-care. If you're eating out of a bag, a box, or a window, and you're also working yourself a lot, then you're going to age yourself rapidly. You're going to age rapidly because you're going to have a lot of stress, and then you're putting stress into your body because you're eating processed foods. Check out the previous video. You've got to start preparing your food, or if you're a boss babe on a level, get your food prepared for you. Get those ready, get those meal preps sent to your house. If you're a boss babe, there's no reason that you should be eating takeout every other day. Get your meals ordered for you and have them sent to the house. Like, you have to take care of your physical body. Your empire is going to run because that is where you have your focus at. Your queendom is going to be situated. But what about the realm that exists in your inner body? Have that food delivered to your house, those pre-made meals, or take the time out to have the meal prep done, or hire somebody to do it. Like, just delegate it and increase the quality of your health and well-being. Do it today. And I don't have any meal prep reference. I think there's like a F9 or something. I don't know. Experiment around. I know that some of my friends like that brand. I've heard good things about that one, but you can experiment and do your research. Look at the affordability. Maybe you have 4 or 5 meals delivered a week, and then on one day you eat out and the other day you cook for yourself. So you have to determine what is going to fit your high performance lifestyle. Okay. Another thing that I have is knowing when you need counsel. So when you need to be talking to your friend or an expert versus when you need to seek out your own counsel, and having a well-developed intuition for when it is time for you to be the driver in the seat of your vehicle through life. Making the big decisions in your life needs to be determined solely based on how you feel about it and the conversation that you're having with yourself. No one else is going to live your life, and this is your legacy that you are leaving behind. It is your craft that you are perfecting, and the design that you were sent here by God, source and spirit, to execute. And so there are just certain stages in your life that do not need advice on. You need to be seeking your own counsel. And this is something that I learned as being an alpha. I'm probably like part alpha, part sigma females. I've kind of been taking a look at that. I'm like part alpha, part sigma. So when I am in a place where I'm like really trying to get stuff done and I have like that goal in mind, I'm like super masculine goddess mode, like feminine energy. I've got my self-care days, my masculine mode is activated, which is pretty much me like most of the time. Like I'm always on, I try to be on point. It's my Virgo rising. But I find when when I am in those states that things just kind of run like a well-oiled machine, and I don't need permission from anyone. I don't really need counsel because I have already made up my mind. Like there's a conversation that I have with God through my spiritual processes that I have probably talked about in other videos, where I consult myself, I consult God, I consult, spirit and my intuition and my future self on what is the next best step. I am always co-creating with spirit in my life. And so I would advise against always needing to get a second and a third opinion from friends and loved ones, and learn how to have that autonomy over yourself and to be a sovereign individual, because the advice that people are giving you is only from their frame of perspective. So if you are getting advice from someone that has not walked the path that you are on, or who has not accomplished what it is you are seeking out to accomplish, then you want to consider whether or not their advice is really actually going to have high value for you. So it's important, and this is just what I have learned in my life, that it is very important to have discernment about the advice that I take and the guidance that I receive, because ultimately there is always just a confirming conversation that I have with spirit that just gives me clarity on my path. And especially when it comes to something that you are trying to manifest and something that you are working on coming into alignment with, like no one outside of you can confirm that that is what you are meant to birth. I can just feel when new ideas and new things want to be birthed through me. Like it's actually happening right now. The next thing that I want to create, I feel it happening and I feel it growing and developing in my womb. You can feel that too if there's something that's there. So what I want to do is, let's do a quick meditation because we haven't done one since last month. Go ahead and just ground into whatever is holding you, the couch, the chair. And let's just take a few deep breaths here. Just feel those roots coming out of the chair. Feel your spine, the base of your spine, corded and connected deep into the center of the earth. And then I want you to bring your attention and energy into your womb space. And I want you to ask your womb right now with your hand over it, what is it that you want me to manifest? What would you like to create? What would you like to birth? And just let it come to you. Let it show itself. And just see how it's showing up in your body. Connect with the feeling sensation of that manifestation. Mm. And then once you have grasped this manifestation, you can see it and you can feel it. It might not show itself, it may just be a feeling for now. I want you to give yourself an inner smile And just open your heart to that manifestation. Allow it to fall into your heart and invite its full, inevitable expression into your life. And with one more deep breath, we allow it to absorb into the present nowness of our being and of our experience, energetically present. This creation, it is here, it is now, it is present. And then we just ground our energy, bring gratitude into our hearts, and open our eyes. Wonderful. I hope that you enjoyed that. I truly believe that 2024 being the year of the dragon and also being an 8-year, there is a powerful, regenerative, transformative energy that is available to this year. I truly believe that the powers of manifestation are amplified as a result of the natural alchemy of this year. And I totally am prepared to take advantage of this energy, to ride this energy, and to absorb the juicy, fiery, passionate energy that this year is building as we allow Pisces season to fertilize the things that we want to manifest, knowing that when we move into Aries season, that it will be a time to really amplify our actions to the next level so that they align with our intentions. Knowing that we are prepared to self-care and elevate it in new ways, and that we are holding ourselves accountable. And the last thing that I have here along the ways, lines of self-awareness and elevated self-awareness for the goal digger, is any type of self-care or any type of normal grooming thing that you do, like going to get your nails done, for example. Those things are grooming. They are not necessarily self-care. Going and having your hair done or having your nails done is not self-care if you're plugged into the phone the entire time, or if you are complaining or stressed out about something that happened yesterday or last week, rather than allowing yourself to be present. I have to do that last spoiler alert for y'all. And thank you if you're still here on this video. Please drop a comment below if you have enjoyed this content. Okay, so self-care is something that is going to help to elevate your awareness, elevate your presence with yourself. Because you are caring for your body, this is a mindfulness act. The process of caring, self-caring for yourself, should naturally imply that it is a mindful act of presence. And the other thing that I want to add on to it is that self-care is also going to decrease inflammation. So things that decrease your inflammation can be of a mental, physical, or spiritual support, because we draw inflammation from the foods that we eat, from the things that we consume mentally. Inflammatory content and inflammatory music can get into our consciousness and create friction and tension, okay, mentally. And spiritually, we can be participating in inflammatory experiences that bring confusion into the essence of our being. And here as goddesses, we always want to be striving for the most authentic and highest vibration that we possibly can, so that we can be clear lights shine clearly from the inside out, which will then illuminate our paths and illuminate the communities around us. So stay lit, y'all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And between now and next week, when I see you again, I'm sending you all the love and all the goddess self-care vibes. One love. I will see you next time. Mwah.